Hey guys, this is Mrs. Yeagle, and I want to read to you chapter 19 of The Darkest Hour. This starts on page 227. A week has ticked by since Sabine's visit. I've pulled apart and put back together her words again and again, but it doesn't take away the sting of them. A life for a life. The Nazis must have her brother then, and that's why she climbed into bed with them. But that doesn't erase Sabine's betrayal. We were supposed to be allies, sisters even. That's what covert operations stood for. Yet she handed us over to Dr. Knock knowing what he would do to us. There's a question that floats through my mind, though, darting in and out when I'm lucid enough. If our positions had been switched, if it'd been Theo's life on the line, what would I have done? No doubt I'd want my brother back. But when I think about the price I'd have to pay, about trading Tilly to the Germans, it makes me want to throw up the porridge that Nurse Keyser fed me for lunch. Any sympathy I had for Sabine shrivels to nothing. Soon, however, I forget about Sabine. I forget about nearly everything. I've been pumped so full of doses that I'm left exhausted. Each time the syringe hits my skin, I search for my memories of Theo to fight off the haze. But my memories of him have blurred, covered in a fog I can't break through. And why should I want to break through it? What a silly thing to do. I'm beginning to wonder why I joined the OSS in the first place. Dr. Nacht tells me that it's a corrupt organization that used me as a pawn. Do you enjoy being a pawn, Fraulein? He asks me that every time I see him, and I shake my head for him. He pats my hand and tells me, "We'd never treat you that way." I'm starting to believe him, too. The Germans would care for me and watch over me, unlike Major Harkin and my papa. And all they'd ask it for in return is a little favor to go back to the States and ask for a reassignment within the OSS, a desk job. I'd have access to the office's most secret intelligence, and when the time was right, I'd pass along a few of those secrets to Dr. Nacht via radio. It might be dangerous work, but I'd be justly rewarded. The Fuhrer himself would sing my praises. "Won't that be nice?" Dr. Nacht says. "Wouldn't you like that?" He repeats that question to me every day, and I'm getting closer to telling him yes. But there's this churning in my stomach that holds me back. I think it has to do with someone named Theo or Ruth. One or the other, or maybe both? Or are both of them lies that the OSS has told me? When Dr. Nacht returns to my room one afternoon, he holds his usual clipboard in one hand and balances a small cardboard box in the other. I smile at the sight of him, but a quiet alarm bell whispers to me that I shouldn't be happy to see him at all. Soon, though, Dr. Nacht administers a new syringe of serum, and I sink back into my cot with a sigh. "How are you today?" he says. My lips twitch into another smile. "Fine, Herr Doctor." "Wonderful. You've made some noticeable progress in the last 2 days. After that bumpy start, you've come very far. Not as far as my other patient, but a long way nonetheless." Disappointment hums through me. Other patient? "Your colleague, Matilda." Matilda? Do I know a Matilda? A memory floats up. Oh, yes. Tilly? Yes. Both of you were terribly manipulated by that organization you were involved in, the OSS. Don't you remember that? I do, I murmur. But you saved me from them. That I did. That's a good girl. For our session today, I've brought you a little something. A honeyed feeling flows through me. I wonder if he brought a little something to Tilly, too. Hopefully not. Just for me, just for you. He opens the box and allows me to peek inside. See here? I take a look, wondering if it could be a chocolate bar or a strudel. I've been very good these last couple of days, but what I see inside makes me flinch. Now, don't be afraid. She's harmless. Dr. Knox scoops my present from the box and places it into my hand. I nearly snatch my hand back, but I know this wouldn't please him, so I push down that feeling. A mouse, Herr Doctor? A special mouse, one of the specimens from the animal lab across the hall. I picked her out for you. The tiny creature with red eyes and cream colored fur sniffs at my palm and digs its needle sharp claws into my skin. Go on, give her a gentle stroke. She'd like that, he tells me, watching me as I pat the mouse along the spine, doing as he says because I don't want to disobey him. What should we name her? Lulu? Jutta? I've never named a mouse before, but Dr. Nod is waiting for my reply. Jutta seems nice. He claps his hands together. Then Jutta it is. Dr. Noct lets me spend a few minutes playing with Jetta. I stroke her fur from neck to tail, which I agree with Dr. Noct is quite soft, and allow her to climb over my arms. Her whiskers twitch at the new scents of my room. Alcohol, bleach, the sausage on Dr. Noct's breath. She's nothing like the brown mice that darted across my apartment floor at home, stealing our crumbs and leaving their droppings along the wall. Besides, Jutta is a present from Dr. Noct. Because of that, she's very special. Dr. Noct taps his pen against his clipboard. We don't have much time left in our session. Must you leave so soon? I am afraid so. I have other patients to attend to. Before I go, though, I have a favor to ask of you. I sit up. This has to be important. Yes? He captures Jetta, who's been exploring the edges of my cot, and drops her into my hand again. Careful. Do you have her? Yes, Herr Doctor. Good, good. He finishes jotting a note down onto his clipboard. Now, I'd like you to crush Jetta's windpipe. My hands freeze in place. What? You heard me, he says with his usual smile. Crush the windpipe. A little pressure on her neck. It won't take long, considering how fragile she is compared to you. I glimpse at little Jetta, her whiskers twitching. I want to ask him why he wishes for me to kill her, but he wouldn't appreciate that. So I keep my mouth closed. Go ahead. I've killed mice before. Dozens of times. But not like this. Fräulein. I press my thumb and pointer finger against Jetta's soft neck, but something holds me back from squeezing. A small voice rises within me, clawing from beneath the fog, begging me to stop, shouting at me to stop listening to him. Dr. Knox scribbles onto his clipboard again. I believe you can do it. I want to please him very much, so I tighten my hold on Jetta. A squeal escapes from her little mouth, and her little paws scratch at my skin. A little more pressure, and it will be done. Jetta's short life easily snipped. And yet, my hesitation keeps tugging at me. Dr. Knox's fingers tighten around his clipboard. When he speaks to me next, his voice has hardened like a fist, and the first sign of frustration that he's shown me. I gave you an order. I hear the edge in his voice, and my grip loosens on Jetta. That's all the time she needs to leap out of my hand and onto his foot. Dr. Knock curses and shakes her off his shoe, stumbling back in the process. I don't see what happens next, but I hear a terrible crunch. When he lifts his shoe, I see a slick of red. He shakes his head at me, disappointed, which makes my chest hurt. I throw my head back against the pillow and chastise myself for my stupidity. Why didn't I kill the mouse when he asked me to? I'm sorry, Dr. Noct, I say swiftly. Guilt punches my heart for disobeying him. He's treated me so well and has given me so much, but now I've lost my chance to earn his smile this session. I don't know what came over me. I know exactly what has come over you. He releases a sigh and wipes his shoe on the floor. I take a small comfort that he doesn't sound frustrated with me anymore, but what he tells me next makes me dizzy. I'm afraid you are still fighting the serum. I'll try harder. I promise. I've underestimated your resolve. That is my fault, but I must remedy it. He slides open the drawer and takes out not one, but 2 syringes, both filled to capacity with serum. Dr. Noct, I say through the haze that has settled around me, if you'll give me one more chance. We are running out of time, he says. I've promised the Fuhrer results, and he'll have nothing less than that. He approaches my cot. Both syringes sink into me, and I'm soon lost in a thick shroud. The extra dosage makes me sleepy, and my eyelids soon begin wilting. But before the blackness takes me under, I grasp onto one stray thought. I can't let Dr. Noct win. I have to stay alive. For Tilly, for Mama, and for Ruth. Somehow, some way, I need to escape.